Beautiful people, don't let them bring you down. No, the booty is inside you. Adam Light, Married at First Sight. What's going on? What is going on? Hope you're all flipping beautiful. Yes, there was a Married at First Sight Christmas special filmed in October, which we're going to break it down. But then we're also going to... I've got a little conspiracy theory. I think we've all been played, and I'm curious to know your guys' feedback on that. But the band is back together. That's all that matters, guys. The band, look at us, grab your instruments, we're back together. Adam Light, Married at First Sight, in the snow. Let's do the reality show. So, first off, yeah, Jenna and Zoe were the first ones in, turned up, had a little munch. Well, again, just look happy as Larry, man. Like, it's quite sweet. I think they've clearly talked about some of the issues they've had, and I could not have been more wrong. I think I'd read something that, read into something Zoe had put up. She fully got me, and a story that she'd mentioned something to Jordan. And I remember thinking, there's fireworks to come between them two. And I felt really clever to realise, well done, Zoe. You tricked me with a story of pretending there was fireworks. But I got very, very tricked. But these two, happy, smiley, sweet, talk of babies. And again, for me, there was too many big issues there, and reluctantness to move and all sorts of things. It's turned into, hold on, these guys are absolutely working through this stuff and fantastic together. So yeah, it absolutely beautiful. We had Tom, we had from the previous season, I can't remember their names, but the sport reporter who does all the holistic beautiful horoscopes and crystals to keep calm, and has no mental stability whatsoever, and gets angry and throws stuff. So I don't think the crystals work, unless she threw the crystals. I don't know, maybe someone can fill me up on that one. The crystals work, right? But if you start screaming and throwing stuff around the room, I'd assume you need to try something else. But she was there. I think her name's Natalia or Natasha from the previous season. We had Jonathan show up. We had PJ, beautiful PJ show up. And we had, who else? Duke has always got to show up. Jordan and Shanita showed up. Of course, Jordan, this was his attempt to try and get things back on. But I don't know. I think, again, there's a guy there, the same one who wouldn't let Duke sit next to his partner, even though he told her, I didn't want you no more. I think there's a child in there still. There's a child in there who can't, unfortunately, grow up. And now he's pulling someone's emotions alongside. And I think Shanita, in an ideal world, does want Jordan to make these things happen. But yeah, there's too many fundamental issues. This is one of those can't live with you or live without you. But they ended up having a really good heart-to-heart where it was clear Jordan just went and killed the mood of the whole place. Almost as bad as Matt did when he turned up with his "I've cheated" and took the mick out of this whole process and now expect you all to treat me like I'm king at the table. He got an even worse reception because I think Shanita just really, the look on her face, she just was not happy to see him. Who else was there? I think that was everything. Nikita showed up from the previous season. And it was all seeming sweet. They gave each other presents. Tom getting a lump of coal was hilarious from Adrian. And everyone seemed to be in a really good, I guess, October Christmas spirits. However, it all had to kick off, didn't it? And all over absolutely nothing. A lot of quick camera work where it don't make sense. But before you know it, they're all arguing over Jordan and Shanita and Nikita trying to have her say in it. I think for me, it's like, if I was Nikita, I mean, I never talked much on Nikita in the previous season, but it seems that she will go from conflict to conflict to conflict to screaming, raging conflict to screaming to raging conflict, even when she seems to have an agreement. There was a strange argument between her and Tom, which was them agreeing over the love at the table. She's like, well, I don't love everyone at the table. She's going, well, I have. Like, so it's, and then it became a whole big argument where they had to resolve it. And for me, Nikita, wow, I'm very, very, very confused over, again, the lack of accountability. It's a lot like Whitney. There seems to be a lot of lack of accountability for a lot of people I've seen over the last few seasons, and just misbehaviour. But they seem to have a little cracking time. Off Nikita goes. She's been kicked off last season, and then she walked with her head held high, but he just saved her. 5 minutes later, the producers would have kicked her out, I'm sure. But I'm glad these guys all got some free munch. I'd have took free munch as well, but I must admit I'm not really ready to sell my entire life on the internet. Seems like these guys have, for some piggies in blankets. But feel free, message me, I'll send you my address if you want to send me some for Christmas. No problem. But now to my conspiracy theory. Now, something's going on here. We have all been played. Because I remember joining in, and of course I was researching all over the stories of these guys, looking at podcasts, looking at different things to try and get me to as much understanding as I could in relation to these individuals. And I'd seen Marilise and a little conversation she'd had about last year, when there was a little conversation around her having an ex who was on the show. She wouldn't say who it was, but there was an ex on the show who she's now, was all dead and buried, but now has gone on the show. Now, all I'm going to say is male and female, which, by the way, I'm sorry, there's been so many wars on social media over the past 15 years, the religion-based war, the race-based war. We now have the gender-based war. Just remember, the people who talk loudest are not your representatives. But what I will say is that as this individual, Matt, he was probably, we've talked about this individual as narcissistic characteristic, hits with aggression, he's an absolute control freak, and I would guess with some potential medical issues, or refuse to deal with accountability issues, a lot like a few other people, but definite what we call serious narcissistic qualities. He now has, she's mentioned that she had an ex. He's now gone on a show that she was on the year before, probably to make her jealous. Now, surprise, surprise, they find themselves back in each other's arms. He's gone and made an absolute name for himself because of the fact that, well, love him or hate him, at least people knew his name. So I think from his perspective, he's probably happy with that. Shouldn't be, but he is. Again, I think on worldly views, he's probably happy, but I don't know, maybe I'm a bit more of a spiritual person, and I think, mate, you're going to pay for that somewhere or another, mate. Karma, don't sit still. But now, surprise, surprise, Matt and Marilise are back together. Happy double dates with Jonathan and Sporty Spice, or whatever she called herself. Little mental instability. Smash up the smoothie and chuck it at your fella. That girl, like, it's all perfect for him, right? It's all perfect. And now these two are her with her child, remember? So she, if you remember Marilise from the last season, she had a little one who I'm sure she's trying to look for a perfect guy, not one who's had ominous issues with Whitney, which seemed like she was trying not to sell him out because it was probably aggression related. For the aggression issues that he's had with Gemma and the absolute cheating, she's now introduced her and her family to taking an ex back, and that, oh wow. I hope they are happy. But I think, Marilise, you have been played. You've been played because, again, some guys who, let's just say if they have these qualities, they know. Make her jealous. Talk to her mate more than her. And I know this shouldn't be the case, but the reality is the reality, and this is the reality show. Matt has played everyone yet again. He has utilised Married at First Sight to try and create a situation that he can get back in with his ex. Jordan, I can't say anything more to, because he's just done exactly the same thing. It's the only reason he came to this Christmas party. But I'm sorry, guys. Me assessing broken people, it's just not going to happen anymore. They're not all. That's not the case for all of them. But I'm sorry, we can't. I can't keep glamorizing these people. I found myself frustrated watching the show. I wish them the best in resolving their personal issues. I really want them all to talk to someone, speak to Marion. I really want them all to talk to somebody and realise what's important in life, and have someone who they can listen to and take respect and advice from. But guys, I can't find myself talking on this season anymore. I wish them the best, but that's the most I can do. Much love. Adam Light, Married at First Sight. Catch up with me. I mean, again, I've got a few things going on that, I'll be honest, are keeping me extraordinarily busy. But again, feel free to find me when it comes to Love Island, The Circle, Maths Next Year. Try and find me. YouTube make it very hard to find me. But you can dig, guys, because you're in the band. So come and dig, come and find us, and I can't wait to reunite with you guys, man. It's been beautiful. Much love. Stay safe. Have a flipping awesome Christmas. And yeah, man, don't forget to reach out if at any point we can have some us time. Love, guys.